Divorce. So, how many of you in this room have had divorce in your life? Whether it's you, or your parents, or your siblings around you, raise your hand. So I'm guessing a lot of you, in your mind or in person, have raised your hand. Let me tell you my story of divorce. So, my personal story of divorce is connected to my parents' divorce. We were divorced when I was at the age of 11. My mom was a single woman with 5 kids, and my parents eventually went through a custody battle to be able to have me and my mom and her kids move to Colorado to remarry her husband. And so, not only did my parents go through a huge year-long custody battle, but they also were very verbally aggressive towards each other, which made the situation even worse. So that's how I got started on this topic of divorce, was because it was something in my life that really affected me, and that I think that it affects a lot of people. So this is a quick video So as you can see, there are lots of effects that happen to the children, not only in that exact state, but also eventually through their lives. And if it's not taken care of, it can lead to different things throughout their lives. So let's go and move on. So my research. So the first thing I'm going to talk about are the effects of divorce in America. So let's start with you. At the age of 18, your chances of being divorced are 27% for women and 11% for men. It jumps up to the 30 percentile for both genders between ages of 20 to 24. So the effects of divorce in America. According to Dr. Fagan and Mr. Rector, over 1 million children in America suffer from divorce. The effects of divorce will last a lifetime and into future generations. These children tend to do worse in school, and they have more trouble in reading and writing. Also, they are more prone to abuse because they have not seen healthy relationships in their homes. Moving on to the rates of divorce. So as you see on this right-hand side right here is a picture of the rate of divorce in America. So that 50% is the people who have no church affiliation, or anything of attendance along religious lines. Also, after that is 34%, which is churchgoers, and then 32 also churchgoers, but they have different religions through there, which doesn't really apply too much, but it goes down from there on depending on the different types of religion in that graph. So the actual rate of divorce is not 50%. I found a statistic showing that it actually has gone down since other years, and it is down to about 41% on average. So that's the average rate of divorce in America at the moment. So let's move on to the different age groups that it affects. So they broke it down to the different takeaways from divorce and what it affects the child about and how they cope with it and what their actions are when they deal with divorce in their lives. So the preschool age, they become very clingy, they have regressive behavior which can occur, which is like acting like a baby or seeming helpless. They also can have physical symptoms such as tummy aches or even migraines. The next age is school age, which they have similar signs, but also combine that with anger and sadness, and they also, like most kids in divorce, believe that it is their fault. Teenagers is the next category, and they are pretty much as hormonal as possible. So they're acting out, they're depressed, they're withdrawn from society, but you can help them through school programs of counseling and with talking to other kids' parents about them dealing with divorce and stuff like that to help them stray away from that extreme depression or acting out in violence or maybe even drugs or alcohol. So these signs are distress and they need parent help or counseling. So moving on to marriage of offsprings. So according to the intergenerational transmission of divorce, offspring of divorce are more likely to have bad attitudes towards marriage. They're less confident in their ability to have a happy marriage. Women, although, have a harder time with committing and having confidence in their marriage. So you're probably wondering, why divorce? Why the effects on the kids? Let me show you why I did this. So the why that goes along with my presentation on divorce is because it affects not only the children, but also our nation. So once the economy goes up, so do divorce rates. Once people are making more money, they have time and they have the money to get divorced and split. While, as you see on the right hand side, this is birth rates. So you can see the birth rate is going down, and it goes to 2010. This, however, is the divorce rate and how it is going up, and it ends in 2011. This, as the divorce rate is going up, the birth rate is going down. Most scientists and people that have studied this, psychologists, say that not only does this affect our nation because less people are being born, but it also is detrimental to some of our economy stuff going on. So one of the problems that this faces in our country is Social Security. So if there's not too many people being born, as you can see, then there's not enough people supporting our Social Security. So once all of these baby boomers, as they're called, this little peak right here, this is the baby boomers. So once all they start going into their 70s and needing Social Security, we're not meeting their needs by decreasing our population. So that's with just one problem. The next problem is that there's less people being born. So there's less ideas, there's less inventions, there's less so many things with technology, and there's just no one coming in to have new ideas. Another problem this also promotes is if the economy is not doing so hot, then there's less immigration coming in, because the people can't survive and they can't have the American dream if they can't support themselves. So that's another problem. Those are the main problems that this has. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because people just think that divorce only affects the family, but in all reality it affects us all, because it not only puts a bad taste in those future kids' mouths that are being divorced and they don't want to have kids, but it also puts a terrible consequence to our elderly population. So these are my works cited. These are just the sites that I used. I have the actual works cited on a different page, which I can connect to this, but I hope that I taught you something, and thank you for listening. Bye-bye.